And what's important here about Archbishop Vigano is that he has nothing really to gain, nothing personally to gain from this. He's retired. It's not a power struggle in the College of Cardinals or something like that. This retired nuncio has nothing personally to gain, but it's very important here because there are few things that are unprecedented in the history of the Catholic Church. It's been around for 2,000 years. Everything has precedence. This high-level accusation and call for the Pope to resign is absolutely unprecedented. We're in uncharted territory.
Right, and perhaps rightly so. I mean, I think it takes a lot of courage for this man, this archbishop, to make these allegations. It also takes a lot of courage from faithful Catholics, practicing Catholics, to get on board with this, because it is the entire structure of the hierarchy of our church, which we love, which is why we want to eradicate the devil from our church here. But I want to go over some of these allegations specifically. So the Archbishop says that he himself personally told Pope Francis in 2013 about the allegations against Cardinal McCarrick. He said during a June 2013 meeting with the Pope asked him what kind of man McCarrick was. And the Archbishop replied and says, and I'm going to quote here, this is a direct quote, "He corrupted generations of seminarians and priests, and Pope Benedict ordered him to withdraw to a life of prayer and penance." That was the response, to which Pope Francis, accepted and then undid the sanctions and elevated McCarrick to a trusted counselor. I don't know how you talk your way out of that one.
Well, I wish that the Pope would answer these questions. We know that McCarrick, the corrupt, abusive cardinal in question, we know he's thoroughly corrupt. I know priests who interacted with the guy and who can attest to his behavior against seminarians and other priests. But the Pope has not answered his critics. This is a much broader problem than simply Archbishop Vigano's testimony. Major cardinals, 4 cardinals, issued a series of dubia or questions to the Pope asking him to clarify statements that he's made, pieces that he's written, and the Pope refuses to acknowledge his critics. He has not acknowledged those cardinals, including Cardinal Burke, a very prominent conservative cardinal. He has not answered Vigano's letter and testimony here, and he said to journalists so brazenly, he said, "I'm not going to answer. I won't say one word on the matter. You can do your job." I wonder why.
They are doing their job.
That's exactly right. They're doing their job by asking him those questions. And this is part of a broader, what appears to be arrogance in this pontificate. Very frequently, Pope Francis has referred to younger Catholics who are more traditionalist, prefer more traditional and orthodox liturgy and Catholic Church. He said they're too rigid. They need to loosen up. They're too rigid. There is a broader political struggle here, but what we're asking is for the Pope to answer these very specific charges from a very credible, high-ranking Vatican official